Welcome everybody. Thank you for joining us here on the Infinite Prosperity Podcast. My name is Louisa Havers and I help high achievers, entrepreneurs and coaches lift the lid on life and business so that they can live at their highest value. Each episode we will bring you our favourite founders, CEOs and guest experts to share with you their insights and strategies to expand your wealth consciousness, your spiritual leadership and aligned business strategies. We know that living in alignment with your soul's mission is what fulfills you, and we are here to show you how to achieve this in an energetically aligned way. If you haven't already, be sure to claim your free abundance activation in the Akashic records. Go to louisahavers.com/gift to unlock your abundance activation today. And if you'd like my support in having aligned success in life and business, then contact me at www.louisahavers.com and let's explore together if it's an aligned match. Get ready to live at your highest value and to expand into your next level of money as you elevate and receive more. You create more for others. Righty ho, let's dive into today's episode. Before we dive in, I'd love to give a shout out to our sponsor, Samantha Selby, the astrological energy healer. Before we dive in, I'd love to give a shout out to our sponsor, Leslie Martin. Leslie Martin Coaching helps high achievers who want more to stop letting fear, doubt, and insecurity hold them back from creating a more joyful, authentic, and fulfilling version of their life. You can learn more about Leslie and her work at lesliemartincoaching.com, and we'll pop her link in the show notes for you. Hi, everybody. Hello, hello. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the frequency on this week's Infinite Prosperity Podcast show. I am Louisa Havers and I help you break through those unseen upper limits in life and business. And I'm so excited to join in with you with our conversation today on the frequency and your attraction point. So I have a question for you to contemplate today. What vibrational frequency is required for your desire to manifest? Because you are always manifesting. And so it's really important to give yourself the gift of living the life that you desire right now, not waiting until this or that has happened, but right now. And as you contemplate this, and know it can be a juggling act when your business isn't aligned, when you hit your upper limit, you can start to subconsciously slow growth down. It's a protection mechanism. And of course, then what can happen is every decision starts to chip away at your self-confidence. And then that has a ripple effect across all the areas of your life. You know, your relationships, your time with friends and family, choices start to reduce. You can feel yourself literally start to contract back. Does that make sense? And this is the thing, fear of burnout, previous financial goals and traumas all start to kick in, and as all the blind spots do as well, just to keep you at that default set point. Our subconscious is our friend. It's just a protective mechanism wanting to keep us where we are, where it feels safe. And of course, it doesn't have to be this way. And being in that space where we can have complete faith and certainty that our manifestations are inevitable, that's where it allows us to stay really, truly anchored in our highest level frequency. So just invite you just to feel into this and ask yourself, would this self-trust and confidence be useful to you? This so that you can create from everything is taken care of, create from an expansive space. So just take a moment to tune in to see if this is you, because for me, I believe money is an ascension tool. And as you receive more, you're able to create more opportunities for others, allowing more support for you so that you can then stay focused on the bits that you love and have more time for you and your family. You're able to create more wealth, to start to create the overflow, which opens up so many more possibilities, the possibilities beyond the possibilities. And as your revenue grows, you're going to require more of yourself. You really are going to have to require more of yourself. You will raise your standards, you'll raise your boundaries. Just feel into that. So this may be, perhaps you're an entrepreneur, all business types, whether, artists, photographers, investors, real estate owners, property developers, coaches. We have employees transitioning from senior management in corporate to launching their own businesses, high achievers, coaches, all listening to our podcast. So a huge welcome to all our listeners and community members. So I know that this is for you. And this is for you if you're at that place where you're like, do you know what? I want to make a bigger impact. I want to grow my business more. I want to be able to serve more clients. I want to be able to have the life that I desire to live. I want to be able to go on holiday more frequently. Perhaps hire a team member, another team member, so that they can take care of some of the things that I don't enjoy doing quite so much. Perhaps that resonates and you're like, do you know what? It's time. I'm ready to go bigger, and to know that you need to clear the resistance. You will feel the resistance. You've got to clear the way. Perhaps you are in that space where you have already achieved a level of success, but it's that possibility of breaking through the revenue ceiling that then triggers fears of, I see this a lot, fear of burnout or fear of loneliness, feeling really lonely as you surpass your family members, friends in terms of business growth and success, because they don't really understand what you're dealing with. And of course, you're requiring more of yourself, so you're changing and evolving. And this is real stuff. Burnout and loneliness, I see a lot. Perhaps you're in that space, actually you're really successful and you're just craving more satisfaction, success, and just being able to receive it all from a place of enjoyment, delight, and peace in your heart. And so often it can be, as we're transitioning from one level of revenue in our business to the next level, we know that as part of needing to require more of ourselves, we've got to let go of our old identity. But so we kind of can start to do this sort of ping pong effect or yo-yo effect, where we feel like, yes, I've created the new version of myself. And then we start to feel ourselves sliding back, and it's like the old identities pop back in for another spin. And we're like, hang on a second, what's going on here? Or, you've spotted some energy leaks in your business and you want to fix these up so that you can increase your profitability. Your energy can then hold the energetics of your business as it grows. That makes sense. And perhaps you've recognized that these things, I'm sharing these all because they all affect your frequency. Resistance is bubbling up, it's delaying you in taking action. So perhaps this is you, procrastination, a procrastination master, or leading you down the wrong path. You're taking the wrong actions, all the actions aren't working. Those emotional default set points that our body is literally addicted to, they create diversions on our path and the reality that we desire to create. And it is incredible how masterful the subconscious is, with us sometimes feeling like, well, we aren't in resistance because we're moving towards bringing ourselves back to our vibrational default set point. Things like distractions can start to show up. We don't feel like doing the thing that we wanted to do. Suddenly feel really tired or spacey. That resonate? I know for me, it's tiredness. The body just goes, you must go to sleep now. I'm like, hang on a second, a minute ago, it's fine. Or does a resistance show up when something was feeling aligned and then somehow you're like, oh no, that doesn't feel aligned anymore? Follow the resistance, because you have to move through it. It's just there, slowing down your path to your destination. So I invite you just to take a moment, just think, okay, so where have I gone on one path and then suddenly diverted? And what were the thoughts that were popping up? Did I believe those thoughts? And were those thoughts coming from a place of love and expansion or from fear? Because we can end up creating from the desire to be safe and secure because things are about not to be, rather than creating from the overflow. So we don't like that space. We're in that space of, I'm just creating here because I'm just going to keep them safe because I don't know what's going to happen over there, rather than actually, I'm going to move into that self-actualized space and I'm going to allow in the overflow. And to start to learn, our bodies need to learn how to feel safe and secure living in the overflow. This is exactly what I help my clients with our Helix method, our energy psychology modality, and we use this in the Wealth Portal. This is our program where we help successful entrepreneurs evolve their money consciousness, heal the trauma, beliefs, and emotions that are, perhaps it's creating like a sense of Groundhog Day or whatever it is that's showing up for them, so that they can, move forward with more ease and flow and start to get excited about their results. And everybody in the Wealth Portal, our Wealth Portal community is just phenomenal, are full of high-level service-based entrepreneurs. Often they will also have products as well. So we've had some artists in there, but everybody is in there wanting to make an impact with their world, with with clients and customers in their world, and being able to make a bigger difference, and recognizing that they need to evolve their money consciousness so they'll allow more in, so they'll allow their business to grow so that they can reach more people and make that bigger impact. Does that make sense? So as you feel into what you want to create for your business, or whatever you want to create in terms of, with life, maybe you're wanting to call in the one. Maybe you're wanting to increase the relationships and improve the relationships you have with your team. Or maybe you want to have more energy and vitality in your life. All of these things impact being able to be in that space of feeling really self-fulfilled and living at our highest timeline. So for whatever your desire is, what vibrational frequency is required for your desire to manifest? Because everything is energy, everything is vibrating at a frequency. So what are you vibrating at currently now? Our higher emotions, talk about this in the Helix method. We have a levels of consciousness scale to demonstrate this. Our higher emotions are vibrating faster. They're just lighter in frequency. And then we have our lower emotions are denser and vibrating just more slowly. And it's actually harder to create when we have those lower vibrations as a default set point that we kind of keep bringing ourselves back to. Our energy and our frequency is moving up and down all the time. We want to kind of create a new vibrational attraction point, a new default set point. So this is why, raising your vibration so you can create from a more expanded place, it just makes things easier. It's not so simple to get there because we all have blind spots. And I've seen this a lot. I've been leading online energetic programs for over 6 years now, and leading workshops, events, coaching for nearly 20 years now. I've led public engagement events for developing services for so many things, older people services, domestic abuse, sexual abuse, homelessness, offenders, preventing radicalization, drug and alcohol services, just to name but a few. I've led business planning sessions for thousands of people. I used to lead on business planning for adult social care, commissioned services for multi-million-pound services, sat on boards to review the performance of those businesses. I've helped my clients create the right business model for them so that they can grow sustainably and profitably and blast past their previous income levels and, create the structure so that they can make this all inevitable. I've led executives in corporate boardrooms to develop their leadership skills. I've led men and women to connect with their higher selves and to activate their intuition and awaken their clairsenses or further enhance their clairsenses. I've led transformational energetic alignment sessions where people have had an immediate shift in consciousness and epic results in their day-to-day life. And I've led deep personal one-to-one containers, small intimate groups of, ranging from 4 to I've led huge groups of 400 plus, doing this both online and live, in person, I should say. And I've trained over 70 coaches and healers on how to facilitate transformation by working with higher levels of consciousness and energetics. This is with our Helix Method certification program and the Akashic Record certification program. And I share this because this is a huge experience, and I've come to understand what makes the biggest difference in creating extraordinary results. And through all our different ways of us working with people, we've worked with over 10,000 people to help them break through and to live at their highest potential. And life before all of that experience, I actually have a background in psychology, and I love to study. I don't know about you, but I just love studying and evolving my consciousness and studying energy alignment, and I work in the Akashic Records daily. So I understand human behavior really, really well, and all the quirky things that our minds and behavior can get up to. And, I can easily see where the misalignment is. I can bring myself back into flow. And, I always share my learning and my growth with my clients as well. I think it's really, really helpful. And I can swiftly see where their misalignment is and help them find their flow again so they can get into resonance, fine-tune that frequency with the desire that they want more quickly so they can start to actually see it in their reality. And just to share a little bit about me for the context of our conversation with this, speaking about my experience, I haven't got one of those, rags to riches story. My story is, I grew up in a middle-class family where the imprinting that I had was, you've got to work really hard for your money, and it was respected to work hard and to have discipline and to do what you're told. Does that resonate with anyone who's listening? Yeah, my parents were very loving, and I was very blessed to have them as my parents. And, of course, we had our challenges growing up, and my parents were holding their own trauma and impact from their childhood. And it showed up in the way of, the way they parented and how they were as adults. And of course, that all had an impact on me. I was bullied at primary school. And so there were times in my life where I grew up feeling very unworthy, very vulnerable at times, really confused, and a massive people pleaser, because it was the way to keep myself safe. It was a trauma response. And of course, that manifested as an overgiver. Does that resonate for anyone? And of course, I brought all of those patterns from childhood into my adult life. And then, of course, how I was showing up in my work. And when I look back, and when I was working for social services for many, many years, I was the main bread earner for my two young sons. Well, they're not young anymore. They're adults now, but they were young then. As a single parent, and I distracted my children from a cycle that just wasn't serving them with their father. So I was working hard on the corporate hamster wheel of success, basically working really hard for my money and just having no time for life. But to me, at that point in time, that's what success looked like until I call it the mask of success. And it is an illusion, because no one feels good working harder and not seeing their family, or just being too burnt out to enjoy their success. And that you're like going, is this really it? This is just not cracked up as cracked up as I thought it was going to be. And my sense of worth and identity was just all tied up in that role that I was doing, and all the illusions and all the beliefs that I held on to, without being able to actually see there was another way, more possibilities. And then, of course, there was this limit to how much I could earn. The company would just give me more work and choose not to give me any more money, because it was just cuts and service restrictions all the time. A constant restructuring going on, going, oh, look, you've given you hey, you've been promoted, but there's no more money. So great, thanks. So even though it took more time and there's more responsibility and all the things, anyway, I knew I had no choice. I had to think differently and to think about, and I really did think then, but my soul was calling me, you've got to do something differently. You've got this one life, you've got to, do something to actually see your children. And I wanted to be a better role model for my children, so that they knew that they could create their reality. Like, I had created the one that I was in, I wanted to create a different one. So I literally did completely reinvent myself. And taking all of my skills and expertise into what I'm offering now. And I look back, and I think a big turning point for me was, I'd seen my dad saving for retirement all of his life, and he never actually had any opportunity to fully enjoy it because he was ill health retired. And so he didn't have the retirement that he envisaged. It was full of hospital visits and oxygen tanks, and my mum caring for him. And he's missed out on a lot. He passed away far too soon. And I'd seen him give up his career as an artist because of his belief that he needed a proper job to care for his family. He didn't see that it could be another way. And as soon as he did, he didn't have time to do his art. He used to run painting holidays, which he absolutely loved. And, going traveling and seeing places and teaching, his old ladies, as he used to call them, art classes, which he did. He absolutely adored them, but he had to give all of that up when he went and got this job, because he was like, that's how I'm going to make the money that I want to make, sacrificing all these other opportunities. And so for me, I just didn't want to. I realized I was going down that path. I was like, hang on a second, I don't want to go down that path. I want to be able to live in the moment now, and to have more space in my life, and to have more time, and to, be able to make an impact in a different way. It just wasn't cutting it in social services anymore. That was a real contraction being there at that point. I was like, I want to be able to create from expansion, not from contraction. I wouldn't have had that language then, but that's ultimately what it was. And, for me, as I look back, and I'm so glad because it's scary doing that thing. Anyone who's listening, who's made that leap from being in employment to transitioning and embarking out on your own, it takes courage. So big shout out to everybody who's on that path or has done it. But as I recognize, as I look back, because we all have aspirations, I think everybody aspires to live at their highest potential and to have excellence in terms of our financial well-being and our emotional well-being, and to live our best lives. And we get to do this together. We truly can inspire each other along the way. And the true secret behind achieving this with more ease is a vibrational one. It's the frequency that you are emitting. Have you ever had an inspired idea that has come to you, one that you would, take you exactly to where you say you want to be, and then for some reason you didn't take action on it? Resistance bubbles up as it's trying to keep you safe, because it's aligned with an old identity that we're holding on to. And then the proposed pathway that is in front of you is going to require a new identity, a new set of beliefs, emotions, and actions, a new frequency. And so we can feel the resistance. And this is something that I talk about all the time with my clients, because wherever you're at on your business journey, your evolution of your business, when you're expanding to that next level, so whether you're, from 6 figures to multi-6 figures, from multi-6 figures to 7 figures, or wherever you are, the subconscious is going to start to whip out some classics just to let you know that you're out of alignment with your identity. Imposter syndrome is a big one, and that can show itself in so many different ways, whether it's like a version of, I shouldn't really be here, what if people find out about me, or feeling shame that other people who might have been in business longer are charging less than you, whatever it might be. And then that can take us down an energy rabbit hole and out of vibrational alignment if we aren't taking care of our vibration and aren't nurturing our vibrational frequency. And think, oh, isn't that interesting that it started to bubble up? And I know that every time I step outside of my current default set point, the old resistance and subconscious is going to do everything to lovingly and protectively bring me back to where it deems it to be safe, unless I continue to do my inner work and surrendering to my higher self and the wisdom from the Akashic records. And when I notice that my capacity to receive has capped out, to heal and nurture myself so that I can embody the next identity that's required for me to step into, so that I can have the love that I desire in my life, the abundance, the prosperity, to have that self-fulfillment. And it doesn't matter, which level you're at in business, there's almost always going to be a point where you're transitioning from one identity to the next one. And you do have to let go of the old identity so that we can fully step into the new one. Just as an example, if you think you have to work hard to receive more money as part of your identity, you're going to have to let that one go. It's not going to serve you, and believe that you can create money with ease, so that you can open yourself up to opportunities around you. You can do this. You can get to change this. You change your reality. If you've been knocking around that 25k to 50k mark in your business, it's going to take a new identity, a new frequency to grow to 6 figures. We've just got some stuff to clear energetically to shake up that plateau if it's showing up. And of course, along the way, at each step, we can start to have this inner conflict with our past self along with our future self. As you step into your future self, I just invite you just to give yourself permission to enjoy all the different identities that you're experiencing along the way, all the versions of you that you have been, and all the many versions that you're going to become as you grow into this and continue to grow into this next highest level. This new identity will take you to your new destination. And this analogy I love, because it just really helps us understand this. You can feel this. So I invite you to consider upgrading your identity as like when you're taking a first-class flight to a new destination. And when you upgrade, you need to prove that you're in the right place on the plane. So much like taking a flight on the plane, you're on the plane, to prove your identity, you're asked for your passport, you ask for a ticket, and they're like, right, okay, she's in the right place. And as you board the plane, instead of turning right to go into economy, you're invited to turn left and walk behind the curtain, and you're greeted with a glass of champagne. And as you find your spacious seat, And there's a menu there, which is actually edible, with food that's actually edible, and space for your legs. If you're really lucky, you can perhaps lie down, stretch out, and you settle in comfortably. You know you're meant to be there. And it feels amazing. Absolutely incredible. And here's the thing, if you don't fully embody your new identity, you'll find yourself making lots of stopovers along the way to your new destination. So how do we do this? I want you to think of your ID and your ticket for the up level are these 4 things. Your embodied identity. So this is holding the consciousness of your future self. So this is the version of you who's already living the reality that you are creating. So this is just in your body, you're emitting this frequency. And what will raise your frequency is your personal boundaries. So this is the second one, being able to hold the space for yourself, for your business, for your clients, really honoring your personal boundaries is such an important area to work on. Forgiveness for yourself, for any business decisions that perhaps haven't panned out as you had hoped yet, for any self-judgments for others who may have not perhaps stayed in integrity with you. And then, of course, all the personal life stuff as well. And then the 4th is taking full energetic responsibility, because you can truly only release what you take responsibility for, including your current reality as a result. And that the reality can be as a result of an intention, a result of limiting beliefs, trapped emotions, so much. And just to invite you to kind of think about this, have you ever found yourself contracting back after an up level or making a claim to go for an up level? You know you want to go in this direction, but then you can start to feel the resistance bubbling up. This is your somatic default point kicking in. They kick in to keep you in alignment with your current identity. And just to speak to this for a moment, just think of these, neural pathways that act as an internal reference point. So the set points that create your glass ceiling. They stop you from increasing your client base, manifesting more money, or manifesting more time, or more joy. This is where you might start to be like, I'm trading with the universe. If more money comes in, I have no time. I want to have both. Somatic default points have kicked in. And our brain and nervous system works really hard to maintain these set points, even if they aren't serving us. And that's where we start to see, hang on a second, there's a business plateau going on. Whoops, right, what default set point have I kicked in here? Let's start to change this so we can start to elevate. Whether it's affecting your client attraction, your money, your relationships, all the things. So to create long-lasting change, you need to change your set points. You need to change your identity. This will change your vibrational attraction point, the frequency that you're sending out, because everything is energy. Think of the universe in terms of frequencies and vibrations. It keeps it really simple when we start to really drill it down to that. And we're all connected. We are one through the electromagnetic field, the divine electromagnetic field. And the easiest way to think of this is that we then have our own personal electromagnetic field, our own personal energy field, or I like to call it human Wi-Fi, and think of that as a two-way transmission between ourselves and the universe. And so the energy field around us is transmitting out into the universe as a sender and receiver. Your thoughts are electric and your feelings are magnetic. And your thoughts and your emotions are affecting these electromagnetic waves. They're affecting the frequency that you're sending out. So you truly can change your identity, your thoughts, your emotions, your beliefs, and change your experience of life by doing this work. I see this all the time with our clients. It's when they change their energy, they change their frequency, they can really start to have, fun results, like our client who celebrated her first 6-figure month, our client who doubled her monthly income within 6 weeks of working with us, our client who then gained the confidence and clarity. She actually changed one of her core services, which then increased her income and freed up her time so she had more time for her family. Because when you rewire your vibrational attraction point, you can break through those plateaus, break through the ceiling, the revenue ceiling, the money ceiling, with more ease and flow. Your unique energy field attracts to it everything that is in resonance with it. So and this is the thing, it attracts to it the things that you desire, and the things you don't want are called in by your frequency. And as we change our frequency, we get to choose a different channel. Like, oh yes, I'm changing the channel. And we can choose a channel for having the capacity to hold more money. And when we embody this and become an energetic match for that wish we desire, and then we'll see it in our reality. And this is so great. The easy part is, it is easy to change your vibration when you know how to do it. And when you're ready, we've got free masterclasses to introduce you to these techniques, and they are the tip of the iceberg in our free workshops, of course. But, our community members love them. They get huge shifts and transformation already with our free stuff, which is just such a joy. And then we dive in deep in our programs to create long-term transformational results. So I invite you, just to help you with this, to see that your inner world is reflected back to you in our outer world. I call this mirrors and magnets, because what you see in your experience of life shows you your current vibrational frequency, your attraction point, and then just reflects back to you what needs refining in your inner world, so that as you start to change the channel, your manifestations become inevitable. Truly, when you change your attraction point, you change your frequency, you'll see this reflected back in reality. Truly, you see the world not as it is, but as you are. And really, when we really start to feel this and to know this, that, life doesn't happen to you, but through you, because everything is energy vibrating in different frequencies. I just find this so exciting. We are such powerful beings when we really harness this and own this. Your consciousness causes what you then experience as your reality. Your frequency does that. Like, wow. I just think it's incredible. Your consciousness is the cause, and then the reality is the effect. And your consciousness is working with the infinite field and the universal laws. And as you're contemplating this, we think of how we use this in our everyday language. We understand this with the law of attraction. We have phrases like, like attracts like. Everybody says it, even if they don't know about the law of officially know about the law of attraction. Like attracts like. You could only experience what you are. What you get is what you get. Like attracts like, which is why we need to start with the identity, which has its own frequency, because you are always vibrating out into the electromagnetic field, which is the universe. So, what vibrational frequency is required for your desire to manifest? Who will you be? What is your identity, the self-concepts, the thoughts, the emotions and beliefs that will support you in emitting the frequency and sustaining the frequency, even when your reality might not yet be mirroring back to you the frequency that you've ever elevated to? There may be a little delay. I think it's so much easier to do this in a group program where you're all on the journey together. You can contribute to each other. You've got your coach there to support you when things bubble up and have an impact. So if you have been, just to speak to this for a moment, if you have been wanting to work with me for some time, then now is the time. We would love to invite you to join us in the Wealth Portal, where you can up-level your money consciousness with the Helix method. You'll have me guiding you every step of the way on our live calls, because we do the energy alignment and healing and manifesting together on the live calls. It is just such a game changer. And you can find the information about our incredible program and the results our clients are getting on our website, which is www.louisahavers.com. And just reach out to us at client care at louisahavers.com as well. And you can request the details via email there too. That is it. Thank you for joining us. And I invite you to live in the energy of the question this week. What vibrational frequency is required for my desire to manifest? And just repeat this to yourself as you fall asleep and see what unfolds for you. I call this manifesting in your sleep, and living in the energy of the questions, just such a powerful way to be able to start to work with the universe and to see what is coming to you. So what vibrational frequency is required? My desire to manifest, and just repeat that to yourself as you're falling asleep, just 10 times. My favorite way to do it. No more counting sheep as you're going to sleep. You can use this powerful time to program your subconscious to manifest while you're sleeping. Alrighty, my friends, thank you so much for joining me. I hope that this has served you. Sending you all so much love. Lots of love. Take care. Bye-bye. Thanks for listening to the Infinite Prosperity Podcast. And if you like what you've heard and want to know more, please go to louisahavers.com. We just appreciate you so much. So thank you for listening and hanging out with us. If there's anything that we can do for you, you can email us at louisa@louisahavers.com. Let my team know if you have any ideas for shows that you'd love to hear or topics you want me to talk about. Really looking forward to hearing from you. All right, that is it for this week, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us for today. Looking forward to connecting with you again. Until next time, namaste.